Hey everyone.
Hello, welcome to another MSI Insider live stream. A lot of streams this week.
Yeah, best wishes everyone. Hope
They
you all...
already did yesterday.
Well, yeah,
but also
still,
from us now, because of course yesterday it was Eric and Peter. They did a live stream about the new NVIDIA RTX 50 series. Today we will also talk a little bit about RTX 50 series, but we'll talk about a lot more because we're going to talk about everything we're showing at CES 2025. So CES is the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas once a year, and of course we're always present to present the latest and greatest MSI products at CES. And today we have a very busy program because we're basically gonna rush through everything that we're showing on CES. So a lot of different products and a lot of different product groups. We're gonna talk about notebooks, a little bit of recap graphics cards, components like motherboards, liquid coolers, power supplies, you name it. What else we have? Monitors. Yeah. Of course, we have my kids, so we talk about monitors. Desktops. Gaming gear. So we have a lot to talk about today.
A lot. So get ready for a lot of information.
Yes, but before we start, make sure to participate in the giveaway. So if you go to msi.com/2/insider or follow the direct link that our bot puts in the chat once every 5 minutes, then you can participate in our Gleam giveaway. We're giving away several Steam wallet codes today. You only have to sign up once, and we will do several drawings throughout the stream. So make sure to sign up. And if you're a returning visitor, also make sure to claim your loyalty bonus. Then you will have a slight edge in the giveaway as well. Then I think let's get into it right away because we have a lot to talk about. Of course, we will answer some questions, but unfortunately, because we have a very busy program, so we won't be able to answer all of them. We already apologize for that. But we try to answer some questions in the meanwhile as well. Oh, look, our name tags. I almost forgot those. Oh, you're my kid. Hello.
You're real.
So CES, here you see a quick preview of our CES booth. So basically CES, of course, in Las Vegas, it's led throughout different hotels. Here you see our booth basically, and in the left you can already see all the notebooks we have on stand there. So let's start there, because we have a lot of different notebooks to show at CES. So yesterday we already talked about the NVIDIA RTX 50 series, but that was specifically about the desktop graphics card, so the discrete separate thing that you put in either a DIY or a pre-built PC. But NVIDIA also launched their mobile RTX 50 series, so the ones that are used in gaming notebooks, for example. And we have a lot of models that use this new RTX 50 series. Jumper Dynamics says, tell your boss to grant you more time so you can answer more questions. It's not about the boss, it's more about the security that kicks us out at a certain point. So that's a bit of the issue.
Because when we stream, most of the time it's already past the normal working hours. So we work past that.
We go beyond working hours. So at a certain point, they just kick us out. Let's talk a little bit about the new Titan 18HX Dragon Edition Norse Myth. So this is a special edition notebook. You can already see it on the lid of this notebook. Very high-end model, but also comes with some nice extras. It comes with like a separate mouse pad, a separate mouse specifically for it. Got a dedicated badge, etc. So a lot of good stuff in there. And of course, equipped with the highest end hardware, so 5090, the latest Core Ultra 285HX, so very high-end model. What's also interesting is the separate SSD cooling, because this notebook, for example, supports PCI Express Gen 5 SSDs, so very fast SSDs, but they can be a little bit power hungry and they also produce quite a bit of heat. So there is a vapor chamber cooling system inside this notebook, and attached to that cooling system is like separate SSD cooling, and you can see it on the left on this picture. You see like the two separate parts with a heat pipe, so that way it is connected to the cooling solution within this notebook. So that's the Titan 18HX Dragon Edition Norse Myth. Then let's head over to more very high-end notebooks. And one of them is the Titan 18HX AI. Again, very high-end notebook. So the CPU is an Intel Core Ultra 285HX again. Graphics card also RTX 5090. It's a laptop edition, so that's a 24 gig model. Max power 270. That's always a bit of an interesting thing because this is like the total power budget for the CPU and the GPU combined. It can allocate this based on the demand. So if you're gaming, you usually want to allocate a bit more power to the GPU. If you're doing CPU rendering and content creation tasks, you may want to allocate a bit more power to the CPU. So the total power budget is 270 watts, and it can divide that over the CPU and GPU based on what you want to do on your notebook. Then the screen, 18 inches. By the way, in the product name, you see Titan 18. That's the 18 there says the diagonal of the screen. So in this case, 18 inches, Ultra HD Plus, 120 Hertz. So Ultra HD, you all know, Plus is basically because it's not a 16:9, but the screen is a little bit taller, which means the resolution is also a little bit bigger than what you know from 16:9 Ultra HD. Screen itself is an IPS display with mini LED illumination for the screen. So very high quality screen. Vapor chamber cooling is present in this model as well. We just talked about it for the special edition, but also in this model you have the vapor chamber cooling and you have the SSD cooling for the Gen 5 SSD, because Gen 5 also supported in this model. Thunderbolt 5 connectivity, Cherry mechanical keyboard, 99.9 watt-hour battery. You may be wondering why not 100. That's basically because in a lot of regions you cannot take it on an airplane anymore. So if you want to travel with your notebook, often this is the maximum you are allowed to take with you on a plane. So basically we max out the capacity for that without going over the limit that you basically get refused at the border. It's also powered by USB Type-C power delivery, 140 watts. So I think it's a very convenient thing that all goes to USB Type-C. So you comment in chat, a laptop 5090 is like a 5080. It depends a bit because, as mentioned, the power budget can shift between. But yeah, in generally, like a full discrete graphics card that is like this size will generally perform a bit better because it has a lot more cooling capacity. It can draw more power, so that those will perform better than the ones in notebooks. These are also, because it needs to be in a mobile package basically. They also need to be more power efficient. But for this form factor, extremely powerful notebook. The RTX 5090, even the laptop edition, is still an extremely capable GPU.
Leonardo Roy, we'll talk about it a little bit later, so stay tuned.
Yeah, many product groups still to go.
Yeah.
Let's head over to the next notebooks. And I say notebooks because there are multiple models of this one. It's the Raider series, the A18HX and the 18HX AI. The A18, the A stands for AMD, so that's the AMD powered model. The 18HX AI is Intel powered. So the AMD model is powered by an AMD Ryzen 9955 HX 3D. So that's one of the new Zen 5 based X3D CPUs from AMD. Extremely good for gaming.
Yeah.
So this is not specifically like an AI type of CPU. They have their Strix Halo separate line for this. This is really a gaming CPU. Core Ultra to 85HX in this one. That is an AI CPU. That's also why that one has the addition AI in the name, and the AMD model doesn't have it. So you can pick whichever you like. Do you want to have the AMD CPU? Do you want to have the Intel one? It's up to you. In terms of graphics, also up to an RTX 5090 laptop edition. Max power budget of 260 watts. So again, this can be divided in between CPU and GPU. Here again, up to Ultra HD Plus 120 Hertz on 18 inches, mini LED IPS display, Cooler Boost 5, Gen 5 SSD cooling again, Thunderbolt 5 connectivity, Steel Series keyboard in this one, same battery capacity as previous one, so again, to meet those airplane regulations, and also 140 watt power delivery on this model.
How many hours can you use a laptop with 99.9 watt hour? Depends.
This is impossible to impossible to answer because it very much depends on what you do. If you're gonna do some office work, maybe browse a bit, watch movies for a long time. If you're gonna do gaming at high refresh rate, at high resolution, then it will of course be way shorter. Yeah. So the max power of 260 watts doesn't mean it will always draw 260 watts. It can go up to 260 watts with the CPU and GPU combined. But of course, it will draw less power when you're doing something less intensive. Then let's head over to our next model, the Vector A18HX, or well, next models again, because this one you can also get with Intel or AMD. And the Intel version is the Vector 18HX AI. For this model, it's positioned a little bit lower than the previous model, so no X3D CPU if you get the AMD one, so it's the regular Ryzen 9955HX. Still a very capable CPU, of course, still based on Zen 5, but it doesn't have the 3D V-cache. And also the CPU for the Intel model is not the 285HX anymore, but the 275 Core Ultra. GPU, a little bit more modest, but still up to a 5080, so still a very powerful GPU. Max power budget is still 260 watts between the CPU and the GPU. Again, up to 18 inches, Ultra HD Plus, 240 Hz IPS, Thunderbolt 5 connectivity, Cooler Boost 5, 26 zone RGB keyboard, same battery capacity we just talked about, and 140 watt power delivery USB Type-C. Anything to add, Markit?
No.
All good?
All good.
PL is asking, when is the X870E Tomahawk available to buy? Should be soon, but best to check with your local reseller when it will arrive in your specific region, because it can differ a bit per region, but it shouldn't take too long. Later more about that model, by the way. Then let's head over to our next notebook, or plural again, because again, this one you can get with either an AMD or an Intel CPU, and this is the Stealth series, so the A18 AI Plus for the AMD model and the 18HX AI for the Intel model. Here you can see that AI is added to the AMD name as well, and that is because this is based on the Ryzen AI 9HX370 CPU, or if you go for the Intel model, it is the 275HX that we also saw in the previous model, up to an RTX 5090 laptop edition, 24GB VRAM. This one by default comes with the NVIDIA Studio drivers. You can change this yourself if you want to go for the game drivers instead. Of course you can do that, but by default it comes with the Studio drivers because this model is a bit more focused at content creation as well.
Yeah.
Screen, name already says it, 18, so 18 inches again, up to 120 Hz Ultra HD Plus resolution, mini LED IPS display, vapor chamber cooling in this model as well, per key RGB illuminated SteelSeries keyboard, and again, same battery capacity and same 140 watt USB power delivery charger. Then the Vector 16 and 17 HX AI. So depending on 16 or 17, it's either 16 inches or 17 inches. Quad HD resolution, 240 Hz IPS display, up to a Core Ultra 275HX CPU. So this is specifically an Intel notebook. This one doesn't have the choice between Intel and AMD. Up to an RTX 5090 laptop GPU. Cooler Boost 5, Gen 5 SSD cooling separately as well. Thunderbolt 5, 25 zone RGB illuminated keyboard. Not specifically SteelSeries one, regular keyboard in this one. And 140 watts power delivery. A lot of notebooks, right?
Yep.
A lot of good stuff, a lot of RTX 50 series in these
Interesting
notebooks.
question. Can't there be both gamer and studio drivers at the same time?
No, I don't think you can. I think it requires you to uninstall the one driver in order to install the other one.
I think on my PC I have both installed, but
you still need to switch between them.
I've never switched it because I've only done gaming on it. But
so you can definitely use both drivers at the same time. I'm not sure if you can have them both installed at the same time. I haven't tried myself.
Are there any real benefits on studio drivers? It's a different use case.
Yeah, different use case indeed. Also, the studio drivers sometimes can be slightly behind on the game drivers in certain aspects, but that's also because the studio drivers, they really need to be extremely stable, whereas the game drivers, they try to push a little bit faster for game updates and things like that. So if you want absolute stability, I would go with the studio drivers. Do you want to have the latest updates for the latest games? then probably the gaming driver is the one for you. Okay.
Regarding the questions of availability, we don't know either. These are products showcased.
Yeah, this
during
is still.
CES.
There are some products that
Yeah.
we know something
Yeah.
about, but like this is extremely new. Shown for the first time here at CES 2025. So availability will differ a lot per model. We don't know all the details for every region, every model. So today we'll specifically talk about the different products, and later on we'll try to give some more information at a later stage about availability. And some of these products that we talk about today, we'll also do separate live streams about later to give you all the details, because of course today we have to be pretty quick.
Yep.
Floofy Poofy, can you tell us any details on the new partnership MSI has with Signal RGB? More about that later. That's one of today's topics. Then let's head over to the Stealth A16 AI Plus. This is the other way around. So A16, the A stands for that it has an AMD CPU. This one specifically comes with an AMD CPU. There is no Intel version of this one. So whereas the previous one was specifically Intel, this one specifically AMD. AI Plus, because it comes with the Ryzen AI CPU, the AI9 HX370 in this case, or up to at least. Usually there are different SKUs of these notebooks as well, but up to an HX370, up to an RTX 5090 again. So again, very high-end notebook. This also by default comes with the studio drivers, but you can install the game drivers if you want. 16 inches QHD plus resolution, so that is 2560 times 1600, I believe.
Yeah.
So basically the 16 by 10 QHD resolution, and up to 240 hertz, and this is also OLED.
Really nice.
Yeah. So very impressive screen on this one. Cooler Boost 5 and a per-key illuminated RGB keyboard from SteelSeries. And in the bottom left you can also see that it has a webcam shutter. So on top, multiple of the notebooks that we talk about have this. That we talk about today have this. There is like a little bit of a shutter at the top of the screen, and basically you can close the webcam. So for privacy reasons, you can do that if you want. Then, and this is quite a range of notebooks, because this comes in a lot of sizes. So this is the Venture series. All of these are AMD powered. That's why they all have an A in front. So A14, A15, A16, A17, and all are AI Plus, because they're powered by up to a Ryzen AI9 370 CPU. Runs on Windows 11, of course. Panels, they depend on the model you get. So the different sizes, but there are also some resolution differences between the different models. But up to 2K resolution, 120 hertz OLED. 2K is maybe nice to specify here, because 2K I think is sometimes a little bit vague, because it's used for so many different resolutions.
It's also not really like an official term.
No. 2K is used for a lot of different resolutions, but in this case it is 2048 times 2080 pixels. Also comes with the webcam with the shutter, microphone with AI, so basically you can filter out noise, stuff like that. So the noise cancelling thing, if you have background noise, then that's a very nice thing to have. Then let's head over to our next series, and those are the Venture Pro series. Also comes in multiple different sizes, so 15, 16 and 17 inches. These are all Intel powered again, so up to an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor. This is still based on previous generation Intel, as well as the GPU in this is also up to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060. So no RTX 50 series in this specific series. So that's a lot of notebooks. But there's more in terms of mobile stuff, because we also have our Claw series of handheld gaming devices. So there will be a new Claw generation coming soon. Those will be the Claw AI series, and there is a number in between, and that basically tells you what the screen size is. So we have a Claw 7 AI Plus and a Claw 8 AI Plus. Here you see the 7 model. So it comes with a 7-inch screen. It has 1920 by 1200 resolution, 120 hertz refresh rate, And what's also nice is that it supports variable refresh rate. Of course, in terms of power, it is an APU in there. So in terms of graphics power, it's never as strong as something with like a discrete graphics card in there. So sometimes your frame rates in when you want to play like AAA title can be a bit lower than what you're used to from a big discrete graphics card. And then it's very nice to have VRR on the screen.
And there are some games that are actually optimized for Steam Deck as well. For example, The Witcher even has a Steam Deck profile so that you get the highest FPS possible while retaining the image quality that's still good for a Steam Deck. So
yeah, but Steam Deck doesn't have variable refresh rate.
Not Steam Deck, I mean handheld, sorry.
Ah, yeah. This one, variable refresh rate, 120 hertz. So very nice if you want to play games on the go.
Yeah.
Another big change compared to the previous generation is the battery capacity. It's also increased a lot on the newest generation. So I know for the 8 it is 80 watt hours. I'm not sure what the one is for the 7. I'm not sure if I can see it on here. Oh, it doesn't mention here. But I know it's 80 watt hours now for the Claw 8 AI Plus at least. And also it is equipped with 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5 memory. So very quick. Okay, so this is the Claw 7 AI Plus, and then there is the Claw 8 AI Plus. So a little bit bigger. So this one definitely has the large 80 watt hour battery. Again, 120 hertz screen, supports variable refresh rate, 1920 times 1200 resolution, powered by the latest Core Ultra processors. So those are from the Lunar Lake generation, so very quick. By the way, the Claws also both run on Windows 11. Has some pros, has some cons. Of course, Windows 11 wasn't specifically designed for handhelds.
No.
But the good thing about Windows 11 is that it basically supports all games and all game clients and whatever you want to use with it. So if you want to use Steam, you can do it. If you want to use Epic Games, you can do it. Ubisoft Connect, what other game clients do we have? There are plenty nowadays. I have a little bit too many sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes I even forget which one I should start to play which game because I don't know on which one I have which game.
Yeah, that can also be a little bit confusing. But yeah, you can all run the different clients on this. This one was also awarded with the CES Innovation Award for CES 2025. Market,
yeah,
I have a job for you.
Yeah.
Can you pick our first winner for the giveaway?
Oh, of course.
So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider.
1 or 2?
Or follow the direct. Let's do 1 first.
Okay.
You can also follow the direct link that our bot puts in the chat once every 5 minutes. I see some people wondering why there is Intel in the Claw series. Well, check the performance of Lunar Lake. It's a very fast platform. So don't worry about performance on this latest generation Claw series. They're really fast. Do we have a first winner?
Brian Leo. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you won our first Steam wallet code for today. If you haven't won this time, no worries, we will have more drawings. If you haven't participated yet, make sure to still do so. Mang is asking, is Titan the best among others? Like in terms of notebooks, like the Titan is really top-end model, but it depends on what you want. If you want a more portable notebook, then no, the Titan is not the way to go because it's big and beefy. But if you need a lot of battery life, for example, then probably the hardware is a little bit too high-end for that. So yeah, it all depends on what you want specifically. But yeah, in terms of power, yeah, Titan would be the most powerful model. Okay, let's get back into it. And have a quick recap of the RTX 50 series on desktop. So if you want to have all the details about this, yesterday we did a dedicated live stream about the MSI RTX 50 series graphics card. So Eric and Peter, they talked about all the different models, more details about the coolers. We will quickly go through them now, but then we need to head over to the other product groups as well. But for the people who haven't seen it, let's show a quick overview. And there's also something new, because these were not in yesterday's stream yet. And that's the RTX 5090 32G Special Edition graphics cards. And there are actually 2 different models. A Special Edition with liquid cooling and a special edition with air cooling. Interesting thing is that it comes with up to 5 Stormforce fans, so that's a lot of cooling on there. And the liquid cooling one, that one actually has like a liquid cooler built inside the graphics card. So it's not a separate radiator like you have with the Supreme Liquid, for example. So that one has tubes attached to it and it goes to a separate 360mm radiator. But this one has basically all-in-one liquid cooler integrated into the cooler. So it is a bit more compact than when you have, it's not a compact card, but it is more compact than when you would have a separate radiator, for example. So 2 special editions, liquid cooled version and air cooled version. We already touched on this. Yeah. The Supreme Liquid, because this one comes with a separate radiator, 360mm in this case. So the previous generation, the RTX 40 series, we also had Supreme Liquid. That one had a 240mm radiator. So even more powerful cooling on this Supreme Liquid model. Also some nice RGB lighting. Also on the, I like the angled part with the RGB. That looks good, I think. But yeah, very powerful. Card itself is relatively compact, but of course you need to keep in mind that you also need to accommodate the 360mm radiator somewhere. So your case needs to be able to support that as well. Yeah, some coolers on your left. I don't think the Supreme Liquid is in there still, right?
No, not anymore.
Let's talk about the regular Supreme. A little bit of a new look and feel compared to the... Do you have that one?
Yeah.
Hold it up. We can have a quick look at it.
This one is still huge.
Yes.
Wait, let me remove my cup.
So Supreme, of course, is our high-end series in our graphics card segmentation. Yeah. It has a little bit of an updated look and feel.
Yeah.
Now it's
on the
nice.
back.
Yeah, on the back it looks a bit different.
Let's see if.
And you have the Supreme naming on the front as well. Now there is like a bit of a Supreme triangle. Can you show how thick it is?
It's thick.
Yeah, this is very beefy cooling. If you want to build in a very compact case, this is not the model for you.
This is a mouse.
Yeah.
And that's the...
More about the mouse later, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Supreme is a very chunky card, but this is all about the best cooling performance. So the best possible air cooler we can build, very silent and very powerful. A whole lot of heat pipes in there. Again, if you want more details about what goes inside the cooler, check yesterday's live stream, because Eric and Peter, they talked all details about these different coolers as well. See a question in chat, is it using the 12VH PWR? Yes, it does use the 12+4 pin, the new PCIe 5 power connector, yes. Then let's head over to a new series, and that's the RTX 50 Vanguard series.
So we have the cooler here?
Yeah, so this is not a complete graphics card, but we do have the cooler here.
So this is the cooler, but without the PCB of the graphics card.
Yeah.
And I think Peter actually unscrewed it yesterday, so like to show the insides. So if you want to know more about this new cooler, you should definitely watch yesterday's live stream.
Yeah, so this is also a very big card. Vanguard is also, like, we didn't have Vanguard in RTX 40 series, so this is a completely new generation. But it's also positioned more in the high-end segment, so also very strong, beefy coolers.
I mean, we can compare it to the 5090. I mean, Supreme.
Yeah.
There is a difference, but it's close.
It's a little bit more compact, but I wouldn't call it really compact.
No, definitely not. But it's more of a RGB version of the Supreme.
Yeah, so here you can see a bit of the RGB illumination on the on top of one kit. You can also see the top of the card, where you see some of the RGB lighting basically on the side of the card as well. So if you're into RGB, then this is a very nice option as well. Rumax asking what are the dimensions of these cards. I think this also differs per exact model, because the Vanguard will come in with equipped with different RTX 50 series GPUs. So I don't know, I cannot answer that exactly. No. Of course, 5090 usually the biggest. 5080 sometimes is the same dimension, sometimes a little bit smaller, I think.
Like
but also
a small
depends
difference.
on the, But yeah, Vanguard is still a big card.
Yeah.
What's also interesting for the Vanguard is that we will have a separate RTX 50 series Vanguard launch edition. So you can already see the preview of the RTX 5080 Vanguard launch edition, and it comes with a small limited edition Lucky. And they're actually
I want them.
Yeah, you get like a random one, so you cannot pick a specific one. Here you see the different ones that are. There is one that I specifically want, and that's the one with the beer.
Yeah. So right now there are 9 of them, if I'm correct, but there's also a 10th hidden one. So it's like a special one that nobody knows what it looks like. Even we don't. Like, both of us also don't know what it looks like. So perhaps if you get a Vanguard edition, one of you might get lucky and get like the limited edition.
Might get lucky. You always get lucky, but you don't know which one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is like one in a cup of bubble tea. There is like
that's the one I want, the bubble tea.
The bubble tea one? Yeah, I want the beer one.
Or
and there is a French one, and there is one with. Yeah, they're all different kinds of luckies.
I wonder if we can get it.
I'll try to get my hands on the beer one.
I'm gonna ask a colleague or something. Do you have the bubble tea one?
Let's see some comment in chat. We definitely want the one with the camera. Yeah, that one's pretty cool as well. Then let's head over to our gaming series. So the RTX 50 Gaming Trio series. Well. Gaming Trio already says it. It comes equipped with 3 fans. We actually have this card. Yeah. Nice. Let's show it up close.
This one is a little bit thinner than the Vanguard.
It's definitely more compact.
But then again,
still not very small, but
it is also just the cooler, if I see correct. Yeah,
yeah, this is just the cooler. Can you maybe grab the Vanguard to compare the sizes of those different coolers? Just a quick comparison before we move on.
There's a big difference. Let's take the front. So here you can see the difference. Okay, wait. Yeah. Let me put it like this. And
can you maybe show the side of the Gaming Trio up close? Because there's actually some RGB lighting in there. Of course, this is just the cooler, so we cannot power it on.
These things are still heavy. even without a GPU in it, these things are heavy.
Can you show the top side of the Gaming Trio?
Yeah.
Close. Other one.
Wait, that's the other one.
That one, yeah.
Oh. Cool.
Because there is some, the other side, where you have the RGB illumination.
Oh, you mean You mean
there?
This?
Yeah, there is. You see, it's like a little bit frosted, almost smoky kind of thing. And let me switch to the slide, because here you can see what it looks like with the RGB line.
My hands are already hurting by the cooler itself.
Yeah, there are big cards for sure. And then we head over to our next graphics card series, the RTX 50 Ventus 3X series. I already saw a question in chat if there will also be 2 fan models. Yeah, here's the Ventus. Yes, there will be 2 fan models, but not on every single GPU. And it also depends which series. So I know for Ventus also there will be 2X,
I like,
but I don't know exactly for which GPUs that will be available.
I do like the new look. It's slightly different from our previous.
It does look a little bit different. This is more of a modest-sized card. It's not the smallest
can it
in
run
general.
Crysis? If the old PC that we built together can run Crysis, this definitely can.
Yes, easily. So that's the Ventus series. So Ventus and Gaming Trio, of course, we also had in the previous generation, RTX 40. However, we have one more new generation for RTX 50 series, and that's the RTX 50 Inspire series. So yeah, a new look and feel, new series as well. I believe this one doesn't have any RGB lighting, for example, so it's more of a no-nonsense card. But I think it's a very
clean.
Yeah,
it's a very.
This
clean
really
look.
Goes for a clean look. So if you're not into RGB and all the bells and whistles that some of the other cards have, and want to go for a cleaner look, then maybe the Inspire series would be a nice choice.
I would still go for Vanguard for the RGB. That would be me.
Yeah, you're a sucker for RGB, right? I would definitely.
The only one in our team that goes for RGB.
Yeah, I love the look of the Inspire series. This is more my cup of tea. But yeah, it all depends on personal preference, of course.
But Maboop Alam, I'm not going to upgrade my graphics card. I looked at my energy bill. It's not happy with my current graphics card.
So you need to go for a mid-range card instead of
Perhaps.
Yeah, flagship cards do draw more
yeah,
power, of course.
Yeah.
Shall we do our next giveaway?
Yeah, we can.
So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider or follow the direct link that our bot puts in the chat once every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Still need to click draw.
Yeah, I wanted to give people some time to
okay.
enter. And here we go.
And our next winner for a Steam wallet code is...
Oh, okay.
I want to see if your eyes are still good.
Summit Tower. Same Tor? I don't know how to pronounce that. Semator?
Same tower. I don't know how to pronounce it either, but congratulations, you did win a Steam wallet code.
Oh man.
So sorry for butchering your name, but we hope you're still happy with your prize. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So again, to the winners, please keep an eye on your mailbox, then we'll email the Steam wallet codes in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it. Then let's go to our next product group. And that's my personal favorite, because we're going to do motherboards. And we're actually very happy because 2 of our existing motherboards won CES 2025 Innovation Awards, and those are the MEG Z890 Unify X, as well as my personal favorite, the MPG Z890i HDI Wi-Fi.
Of course.
Mini ITX.
ITX.
I love this tiny motherboard. 4 SSD slots, by the way, on Mini ITX.
4.
4. So yeah, both of these won a CES Innovation Award. So that's, of course, these are not completely new. We already launched them end of 2024, but we're very happy that these won the CES Innovation Awards. Then let's head over to some completely new motherboards, and that's the B series, because both Intel and AMD have announced their new chipsets for basically the entry level and the mid range. So for Intel, that will be B860 and H810, and for AMD we have B850 and B840. We're going to start with Intel. We will, by the way, do a separate dedicated live stream about these new mid-range motherboards for both Intel and AMD. That will be next week already, on Wednesday. But we will give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what to expect from those B-series Intel and AMD motherboards. So here's a sneak preview of the MAG B860M Mortar Wi-Fi motherboard. So Mortars are a micro ATX series. You can also see it with the M as an addition to the chipset name. So B860M means it's a micro ATX one. And even though this is a mid-range motherboard with a B-series chipset, it still comes equipped with Wi-Fi 7. It comes with 5 gigabit LAN. It comes with Thunderbolt 4 connectivity. So in terms of feature set, this is still a very well-equipped motherboard. So this is our Mortar. Then if you want to go for a bigger motherboard, an ATX one, then we also have the MAG B860 Tomahawk Wi-Fi motherboard. Yes, and I actually have this one here. So let's do a quick preview. We will not go into too much detail about these boards because
Tomahawk is always so popular.
Next week we will have a dedicated live stream about these new generations. As you can see, there are some yellowish greenish accents, and that goes very well with our green screen. So they're yeah, maybe if you angle a bit, you can maybe able to see what it looks like. No, difficult.
Yeah. It kind of like filters it.
So yeah, if you want a full ATX motherboard.
Oh yeah, if I do it like this, then it's
it kind of works.
Yeah.
Also, of course, this motherboard comes with Thunderbolt 4, with 5 gigabit LAN, with Wi-Fi 7 connectivity. Nice I/O as well. Yep. So despite being on paper mid-range motherboard, still very well equipped. I see a question. It doesn't have Bluetooth? Yes, it does have Bluetooth.
Yes,
of course.
it does.
Yeah. Basically, all our motherboards that have Wi-Fi also have Bluetooth connectivity. Mm-hmm. So yes, it does come with Bluetooth. Then let's head over to AMD, because there we also have some B-series. Do you want to do some unboxing, Mankit?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, who does not like
let's
that?
switch that one. So what are you holding?
I have a B850 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi.
So this is a little bit more height here, right? If it's a max or not.
This is more like the AMD equivalent of the motherboard we just saw. So it all depends on what kind of CPU you want. Of course, the previous one is an LGA 1851 for the Core Ultra 200 series. This is an AM5 motherboard.
The smell of new hardware.
So this one supports the 7000, 8000 and 9000 series AMD AM5 CPUs.
Wait, how do you connect these?
See, question in chat, Wi-Fi 7? Yes, this also supports a Wi-Fi 7. And 5 gigabit LAN.
Ooh. Oh, this really looks nice.
So a sneak peek. More details about these boards later.
Okay.
4 M.2 slots on this one as well.
Yeah.
And as mentioned before, 5 gigabit LAN, Wi-Fi 7, very well equipped motherboard.
Is it a... Oh, okay, I like
That's a quick PCIe release.
Yeah.
Maybe you can turn it around, then they can see what it does.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget to press the button.
So
then.
here you have the button here on the side, and if you press it, it releases the PCIe slot. If you can see right here, it moves when I press it in. And when I
Eric is in the chat. Eric says, we still need to make a movie with that board and you let Monkit touch it. We're not going to make a video with this specific board. This is actually not even our board. I borrowed this from our colleagues from the Benelux office.
Eric, what do you mean? He doesn't trust me. I'm not going to break this board.
Well, you better don't break this one because then we end up in a fight with our Benelux office colleagues.
Oh.
Because this is not ours. But this is the new MAG B850 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi motherboard. Okay, Monkit.
Okay.
Do you want to change for a new or an even more high-end model?
Oh, I like the color of that one.
Yes.
Wait. Make sure that I don't break anything while putting it back.
We can do that later because this will take you ages, I already see.
Okay. Here you go.
Here, you can already show
Oh
our
my
next
God.
motherboard.
This is one of my favorites.
And this is also based on the AMD B850 chipset.
Let me put a little bit.
So again, this is an AM5 motherboard, and this is the MPG B850 HDI Wi-Fi. So this is, it's not really white. It's more like a silver kind of color.
Yeah.
And this is really your cup of tea, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, not anymore.
No, not anymore.
I swapped to black again.
You swapped to black again.
Back
okay,
to black.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
usually this is the choice. People who are really into RGB, they tend to like the white builds because it's like very vibrant with the RGB lights. Because of course it reflects it.
True, but that's because I sold my parts to the girlfriend of my best friend. So then I thought I'm not gonna pay the white tax again, and so I just went to black.
Also, this is also not, of course, the cheapest model in the B850 series because this is the highest end model, at least in our upcoming lineup for B850. So it's indeed an MPG model, so performance gaming.
A lot of USB ports.
But very well equipped. Also very strong VRM. This one actually has 1480 amp smart power stages specifically for the CPU. So even very suitable for very high-end CPUs as well.
And also here you have the additional PCIe.
Yep, and of course 5 gigabit LAN, Wi-Fi 7, 4 M.2 slots, all the good stuff on there, and a nice button. Okay, but more about this later. So if you're interested in these motherboards, make sure to tune in next week because we will tell you a lot more details about these different B series for both Intel and AMD. Then let's head to our next motherboard. And I already saw a question about this model in chat earlier on because it's the MAG X870E Tomahawk Wi-Fi. You may be wondering, didn't you already launch the X870 Tomahawk Wi-Fi? Yes, we did, but that was the non-E version. So we already have the MAG X870 Tomahawk Wi-Fi, and this is the MAG X870E Tomahawk Wi-Fi. What the E chipset does, basically the X870 is a single chipset. X870E is a dual chipset. That will give you more lanes to work with, more connectivity options. So in terms of expandability, this is an upgrade compared to the existing X870 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. So very nice model, I think. Usually our Tomahawk series are very popular in general. X870 Tomahawk was also reviewed really well, so I was very happy to see that, of course. So we decided to also make an X870E model, so in case you want to take advantage of those extra expandability options, then this may be the perfect choice for your next
Good
system.
question for you.
Yes.
Do these newer motherboards fully switched to PCIe Gen 5 SSD support?
Yeah, they definitely do. Also the regular X870 supports PCI Express Gen 5. So this gives you more expandability through the chipset. So the PCI Express Gen 5 lanes, they come from the CPU. So in terms of Gen 5, that you can have it on both of them. But if you want to have multiple SSDs, so also a ton of Gen 4, for example, then X870E could potentially benefit you. But it all depends on what kind of configuration you use. So properly look at the differences and then look at what you're planning to use to see if it makes sense for you to go for X870E over X870. Because in certain situations it may not make a difference, and of course the regular X870 is a bit more affordable than the X870E. So it all depends on what you want to do with it. But now there's also a more affordable option on X870E, because usually that's something you will find on the higher end models like Carbon, like Ace, like Godlike, all those kind of models. Those were all X870E. So now also a more affordable option for X870.
Skeets is right. This is not ME. This is an MAG.
MAG, yeah. Talking about X870E, we will have another new model. Do you want to do another unboxing?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, if Eric trusts me with it.
Yeah, this one, no, me, because this one, we will have to record a video.
Okay, no, you can unbox it.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it then.
Then I will head a little bit in your direction. I don't have fat fingers, because this will be used in our video as well. And this is the MPG X870E Edge TI Wi-Fi.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. And we already talked about the B850 HDI Wi-Fi. Basically, you can see some similarities. So again, you will get a not really white, but more like a silver motherboard, MPG series, so a little bit more high-end. If you're very careful with it, you can hold it in front.
No,
it's a bit, you know, you don't dare to touch it.
No. Eric might get mad at me.
Probably I will, because I have to record that video. So comes with 14 80 amp smart power stages for the CPU, so also very suitable for the very high-end Ryzen 9 processors, for example.
Look at Eric.
What does Eric say? Eric says no, do not let him touch it.
See,
yeah,
I
that may be
so.
a better idea.
See?
So 5 gigabit LAN on this model as well, Wi-Fi 7. It comes with USB for 40 gig per second. So that one is actually, it has two of them right there, those two Type-C.
Well, there's a lot of USB ports.
There's a lot of USB
even
ports,
more.
Maybe let me show you up close.
I don't even have to use
a very extensive I/O with 2 USB 4 ports and 3 Type-C in total. So one is 10 gigabit per second, 2 of them are 40 gig per second. The 40 gig per second ports can also carry a DisplayPort signal. So you can actually use them for a monitor as well if your CPU has integrated graphics. But most AM5 CPUs actually do have that. Supports DDR5 up to 8400 mega transfers per second. It also has the easy PCI Express release button. And of course the easy M.2 Shield Frozzer 2. So it's very easy to install SSDs, take the heatsinks off, you don't need any tools.
You would think these are such small things, but it actually helps a lot when building.
It makes your life just a lot easier.
Yeah.
So a lot of the nice, easy DIY stuff on this motherboard. It's actually not just this slot, but all of these. So this is also an easy PCIe release. So you can take all of them off very easily. No tools required. And below, you also have the easy M.2 clip. So also no tiny screws anymore to install your SSD then.
Good, because I lost a couple of them.
How many?
I think like 3.
Like 3 already?
So I had to buy new ones. I was thinking of taking some of like older motherboards in our office, but then I was like, nah. What if we need them?
If they're like very old ones, we probably won't need them anymore.
But in the end, I bought like I think 20 of them, so I can lose a couple more.
That kind of. Okay, let me put this back in carefully because this one will feature in one of our videos. So soon we will record a nice video with this specific motherboard you saw right here.
Skeets knows my pain. I've lost so many of those. Yep.
So my kid didn't touch it, so it's all in good shape
It's
still.
all good. If it's in bad shape, it's not my fault.
No?
We already know.
Okay, then let me toss this aside, carefully of course. And then let's talk Project Zero, because we have a lot of new stuff to show for Project Zero. So Project Zero is basically an ecosystem where the cables are on the back of the motherboard. So they're also called back connect motherboards. That means that, for example, your power connectors and your SATA connectors and your USB headers and all those kind of things that you will usually find on the front of the motherboard, in Project Zero boards, they're on the back. That makes your system look a lot cleaner, so especially for cases with tempered glass side panels, it looks very clean. But it also makes cable management much easier, or just connecting it all much easier to do on a Project Zero build. We already had a couple of generations with this. So, for example, with Intel LGA 1700, also in the B650 we had a Project Zero board, and now we have some new models to show you. First being the Pro Z890-S Wi-Fi Project Zero. So this is one from our Pro series, of course. This is not an extremely high-end motherboard, it's a bit more modest board. Still very good looking, I think. So one from our Pro series, and as you can see, connectors are all positioned on the back of the motherboard. And I know that this will be one of the boards that will come available relatively soon. Then we also have some new concept boards for Project Zero, and those are Tomahawk boards. We never had any Project Zero Tomahawk ones. It's also not 100% sure if this will actually come to the market. That still remains to be seen. So this is still a concept, but we're very curious to hear your opinion. What do you think about Tomahawk Project Zero? And it's not just a black one, but we also have like a silver model on display. It is specifically the heat sinks in this case. So the PCB on this one is black, silver heat sinks. So we're very curious to hear from you guys. What do you think about the Project Zero flavor of a Tomahawk board? By the way, this is based on Z890, so this is an Intel platform, but we're just curious to hear your general opinion about Tomahawk Project Zero boards.
I like the black one a lot.
Yeah, I like the black one.
Well, what are those color tones? Is it like goldish type of finish, or?
The color tones are like the MEG color, so the same one that we just had on the other Tomahawk boards.
Oh.
So it's kind of a bright yellow green kind of color. So very curious to see. I see some comments. Tomahawk Project Zero is sleek. I like those new Tomahawk boards.
It looks expensive.
It is Tomahawk, so this is not. These are not like our flagship motherboards. These are Tomahawk. Usually, is like all the features that 90% of the users want. So it is good value usually. Tomahawk. It does still have the most important features, but it doesn't have like the more extreme bells and whistles that you will find on the higher end board. Like for example, Godlike has LCD screens. That stuff you will not find on a Tomahawk board. So question in chat, is this recorded from Eindhoven? Yes, it is.
Yep. We're not currently at CES 2025.
No. So our colleagues who are currently in the United States, in Las Vegas, helped us out with all the high quality images. Richard is asking, what about AMD Project Zero board? We actually already have, for example, B650, but of course we're also looking into newer AMD Project Zero boards. So I'm pretty sure you will see more about that later. But no details at this point. Then let's head over to another concept that we're showing at CES 2025. And I think this is a really cool thing, because this basically takes Project Zero to the next level. So the concept name is Project Zero X, and it basically goes a little bit further than what we already know from Project Zero. So it should look even sleeker with this new concept in Project Zero X. As you can see, the motherboard in this build looks quite a bit different than what you're used to. So it's almost completely plated. And as you can see, it also doesn't have the PCI Express slots that you would usually see on a motherboard.
Man, this looks clean.
It doesn't have the I/O that you would usually see on the top left of the motherboard. So it's almost completely covered, apart from the right side, of course, where the memory modules are, and the part where you will find the CPU socket, in this case covered by an all-in-one liquid cooler. So beware, this is still just a concept. It's not certain if this will come to the market or what it will look like when it comes to the market. This is just to basically give you a sneak peek on what we're working on behind the scenes, on how we're also trying to develop Project Zero further in the future. You may be wondering where you will find all the I/O, because of course you need to connect your USB, you need to connect your display port to your graphics card, and that you will actually find on the back of this case. So here you will, on the top you see the I/O for the motherboard. So this is located behind the motherboard basically, so not on the motherboard itself, but behind. And at the bottom you will also see the pass-throughs for the display ports, for the HDMIs. So when going back here you see that how the graphics card is positioned, so that one is basically wired through also to the back of this case. So this is where you can plug everything in. You can see that the graphics card is connected by a riser cable, and that riser cable is connected to the back of the motherboard, so that you also don't see all those PCIe slots. Eric says in chat, this is not the back, but the side of the case.
I would call it the...
Essentially, yes. It's a little bit difficult with this one, because basically it is, yeah. What is the back and what is the front? That's a good question.
The thing is, if I would have that case, I would show it the way that you showed that picture.
Like this?
Yeah,
so you would call this the
like
front?
That. Yeah, I would call this the front.
So not this side?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is now blurring. What is the front and what is the back? So if you look at it traditionally, and Eric is of course a very traditional person, so then this will be the front of the case. Then the I/O is on the right side of the case. If you think like Monkit and you think this is the front of the case, then it will be on the back.
I think that like with PCs now, where you connect everything on the back of the PC, I would call that the back of the PC where you connect everything.
Yeah, I think it also just depends on how you put this on your desk.
Yeah.
It probably also depends on how big your desk is, because if your desk is not the biggest, you will probably position it like this, like sideways. If you have a big desk and you want to show off, then you will position it with this part to the front, and then it will be the back. Okay, so that's the Project Zero X concept. And then we head over to something I saw a question about in chat. Yeah. And that is Signal RGB. And on CES 2025, we're also displaying an RGB build running the Signal RGB software. So you've tried Signal RGB, right? So can you maybe quickly explain what is Signal RGB?
Signal RGB is actually a software that allows you to control all your RGB in your system. So when you install this software, it detects everything. So including your motherboard, your case, you can control everything with it. And then all types of effects can be adjusted. So it's quite handy, especially if you have multiple RGB hardware in your PC. Let's say you have like a lightning strip from a different brand and you want to sync that with your MSI hardware. It's totally possible.
So if you want to combine a lot of brands, of course, those other brands also need to support it. So now we try to have as much support for MSI products within Signal RGB as we can. It doesn't mean that everything is supported from now on right away, but this is of course something we're working on.
But be careful if you have another software installed that also controls RGB. It might
then it may conflict.
Yeah, it will. Because I had that, and then I had to delete one of the software recognition packages of Signal RGB so that the other software could use it, and it was a whole thing. So I think this is the perfect solution because you can control everything.
It is like
one software.
You can combine a lot of things. So also on the right here in this screenshot, you see like some Kingston products combined with some MSI products, and all the RGB is controlled through the Signal RGB software package. In this build, you see one of our new cases, and that is the MPG Velox 300R Airflow PZ. PZ stands for Project Zero,
yeah.
so this one also supports the back connected motherboards. We already had a quick preview for this case on Gamescom, so we did a live stream earlier, I think it was late August last year, from Germany. We were live there, present at Gamescom, at our event next to Gamescom, and we've also shown a quick preview of this case. It has very large fans at the front, so 160mm fans, and there are also dual layer fan blades for even better airflow from those fans. It can support up to 13 120mm fans, up to 3 360mm radiators. Of course, if you're going to go with all those 120mm fans, you do need to remove the 161s. You can not use that many simultaneously, of course. All depends on preference.
I only have 10.
Only 10. Up your game. You can also install it for a pump reservoir in there. So if you want to do like custom liquid cooling things, that's also a very nice option. In terms of easy DIY features, not limited to our motherboards. Also our cases have some of these. So, of course, the ATX back connect that we know from Project Zero. It has the easy PSU cover. Easy fan bracket as well that supports different fan sizes, so 120mm, 140mm, 160mm, depending on what kind of fans you want to use, of course, and a pre-installed GPU holder. Later on, we also plan, of course, to do a separate live stream when this case will come out in the future. So please let us know what you think of the new MPG Velox 300R Airflow PZ. Then let's continue with cases. A very big one.
Yeah, oh, I love this.
I think our biggest case to date, and that's the MEG Maestro 900 PZ. So again, this supports Project Zero. By the way, that it supports Project Zero doesn't mean you necessarily have to use a Project Zero motherboard. So it still supports regular motherboards as well. In this preview, it's also running a regular motherboard, but you can use ATX Project Zero motherboards in this. So the MEG Maestro 900 PZ, very large case, and I think again we can start the discussion: what is the front, what is the rear, what is the side? Because this is really like a showcase kind of PC case. So if we look at it from Mount Kit's perspective, then this will be the front, and completely glass going around to the sides as well. It is very big. It supports a ton of fans, a ton of radiators,
8, 11,
very large motherboard.
15 fans there? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, you can in total. I know you can fit up to 16 120mm fans inside this case. And you can install two 420mm radiators in this. So on the left and on the right, you see like the 4 fans. You can fit radiators in there as well. So if you want to do extreme liquid cooler setups, then this is basically the case to get. Something that's also really cool about this is the motherboard tray can be rotated 90 degrees, and you can install a dual system built in it. So you can install 2 PCs inside this case.
Oh, I like that idea.
So you can install an ATX system as well as a mini ITX system. So, for example, if you want to do a dual PC streaming setup, you can fit it all into one case.
This is perfect for streamers.
Yeah, so for example, you want to have the ATX, I would assume then you would use the ATX motherboard for like your streaming setup, because you can put a bunch of capture cards in there. You have the PCI Express slots, of course, and you can game on the mini ITX setup, for example. So this, if you want to do a dual PC setup, you can fit everything inside this single case. So as mentioned before, it can fit up to 16 120mm fans. So a lot of cooling possibilities as well. Can fit dual 420mm radiators. It has an adjustable fan bracket as well, with easy hinges on there. And I think in general it looks very impressive.
This is also nice for couples that want to game next to each other, but do not have the space to put like 2. Well, yeah, okay. If they want to just share one PC, I think.
If you don't have the space, then maybe this is not the case for you.
But then,
because this still probably still bigger than 2 mini ITX cases next to each other.
Yeah, okay. If you compare it to mini ITX.
But if you're like a very romantic couple and you want to share one PC, I would never share a PC with my girlfriend. I refuse. I want to have my own PC. Don't touch mine. So yeah, not an option for me. But if you're still in the honeymoon phase of your relationship, then maybe that will be an option as well.
Oh man, but then you can cool both systems in one case. That's really cool.
Talking about cooling, at CES 2025, we also have a case mod with this case, running a dual PC setup, running dual liquid cooling, and this is what it looks like.
Look at those graphics cards.
Yeah, so on the ATX system, this is, by the way, a Z890 Ace motherboard, so high-end ATX motherboard. This is running dual graphics cards. Of course, nowadays, for gaming, it doesn't make that much sense anymore because not many games support dual graphics cards. However, if you want to do rendering on your GPUs, there you can definitely utilize dual graphics cards. So this is liquid cooled. You can see the tubes on the CPUs.
This just looks clean.
Yeah, so on the left, the MEG Z890 Ace motherboard. On the right, you see the MPG Z890i HTI Wi-Fi motherboard. So dual PC setup within this case. I think it looks really cool.
I'm really interested in how people are going to use this type of case and how they're going to use dual PC case mods. Like this is going to like show interesting builds.
Yeah, I think it's also the things you can do with it. Like for example, in the first configuration, you saw the motherboard in the vertical installation position. Here you see it 90 degrees turn, so you see it in like a horizontal installation position. So a lot of possibilities with this case. Then when we're talking high-end anyway, let's go to a high-end power supply. It's our MEG AI 1600T PCIe 5. So the name already says it. It's a 1600 watt power supply, so very high end. Of course, it's not the smallest power supply, but for a 1600 watt, it's still relatively compact. It is titanium rated, not only 80 plus titanium, but also cybernetics titanium, as well as PPLP titanium rated. Of course, ATX 3.1 ready, as well as PCI Express 5.1 ready. It has dual 12 plus 4 pin PCIe power connectors. It's also a digital power supply, so there is a USB Type-C connector on there that you can connect to the header on your motherboard, and that way you can also get diagnostic information from your power supply, so you can, for example, monitor the power draw and things like that, and you can control your power supply. It also comes, RGB lighting on the side.
But that's where I'm a little bit less fan of. Because you can't even see the PSU.
It all depends on your case.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
There are more and more cases that have a window for the power supply as well. But yeah, it has RGB lighting. Of course, you don't have to use it. Supports Mystic Light.
If you buy it, use it.
You can sync it up with other Mystic Light compatible components. I see a question by Skeets. Does it support HW info? I believe it does. I'm not 100% sure, but I think HW info can also read the information from the power supply. So not 100% sure, but I think it can. So this is our very high-end new power supply. By the way, this is only 1600 watts. At CES, there's also a 2000 watt version of this power supply. In case 1600 watt isn't enough. I think for most people 1600 watts will be enough, but in case you need more, the possibility is there. In case you need less, then there is also a little bit more modest PSU series, and that's our new MPG power supply. So this is the A1250 GS PCIe 5. This one also comes in multiple models, so there will also be a 1000 watt version of this and an 850 watt version of this. The 1000 watt version and the 1250 watt version of this power supply also comes with dual 12 plus 4 pin PCIe 5 power connectors. These power supplies are gold rated, again 80 plus cybernetics as well as PPLP, and also ATX 3.1 ready, PCI Express 5.1 ready, so completely ready for the future with these power supplies. Here you see a quick overview of both of the features of these power supplies. So tri-certified means the 80 plus, the cybernetics and the PPLP. Uses very high quality components, so this will really last for a long time. The MEG one you can connect through USB, offers RGB as well. The MPG model you cannot. It's more of a, well, it's a little bit hard to call a power supply like this basic, but it's more like focusing more on the essentials, whereas the MEG model has all the bells and whistles that you can basically think of on a power supply. Both of these models are equipped with a 135 millimeter fan. They are double ball bearing fans. The MPG models are a bit more compact even, so they're a bit shorter. Of course, width is the same, because that's basically the ATX spec, because they're ATX power supplies. Yeah, all nicely sleeved modular cables, pre-installed organizers. So yeah, very nice power supplies, I think. Before we go to the next products, shall we do another giveaway?
Yes, yeah.
So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insiders. I suggest insider, not plural, insider. Or follow the direct link that our bot puts in the chat once every 5 minutes. If you have already participated, no need to do anything again, because you will be included in the next drawings as well. Then let's head over to our next winner for today, for a Steam wallet code. Drum roll.
Love 7?
Love 7? Or is it I
love 7?
I love 7?
And then 2 of 7?
How many accounts are you using? Should we disqualify you with a name like this? But nevertheless, congratulations, you also won a Steam wallet code. So please keep an eye on your mailbox, then we will email the code to you in the coming days with some instructions.
Oh, that it means 1 of 7.
Oh.
You get it? 1 of 7, 2 of 7.
Ah, okay. So we don't have to disqualify this person because it's not like they're participating with 7 accounts. Okay.
I get the name.
Good.
Wow.
Congratulations. You won a Steam wallet code. Then let's head over to our next product group. Sorry, we're still doing components.
No problems. No problems.
Because we also have some new liquid coolers. These are the MAG Core Liquid A15 series. Here you specifically see the A15 360.
Oh, wait.
So 360 millimeter radiator.
Yeah. So they can read it.
Yeah, good. Your fat face was in front?
No, it was the chair.
Oh, was the always blaming the chair?
Yeah, it's the chair.
I thought too much Christmas dinner, but no.
Yeah, no.
So this will come available in multiple sizes, by the way. So this is the 360 model. There will also be a 240 model with a 240 millimeter radiator. So that one comes equipped with 2 120 millimeter fans. Of course, nicely equipped with RGB lighting. This one has a new fan design. It's called Cycloblade 9 fan design. And that one delivers improved airflow and static pressure. So static pressure is especially important when you use a fan on a radiator, because it has to basically press the air through the radiator, through the fins on the radiator. So new fan design on these. Also has a robust metal backplate on these models. Another important thing is that it comes, if you're using an Intel system, it may be worth it to use the adjustable Intel offset kit, and that will basically adjust how the CPU block is located on your processor to get a better heat dissipation, specifically from the hotspot of your CPU, because it's positioned a little bit different compared to AMD CPUs. That's why there is an Intel offset kit included with these liquid coolers. The radiator fin width has also been increased by 25%, also for better heat dissipation again. In terms of easy DIY, also on these liquid coolers, comes with pre-installed bracket, of course compatible with both Intel and AMD with the latest generations as well. Simple cable management. It also supports the JF1 connector, so that one combines the addressable RGB and fan connector, and the fans are also pre-installed as well as daisy-chained on these models. More about this later, so I plan also to do future live stream with these new liquid coolers. So I hope you like them. We also have a sneak peek of slightly higher end all-in-one liquid cooler, and that's the MPG Core Liquid P13 series. And here you see the P13 360. So this is 360 millimeter radiator on the specific model. It also comes with the Cycloblade 9 fans. This one has an LCD screen in the CPU block. So it is a 2.1 inch screen, 480 by 480 pixels. I believe it's an IPS display on there. It also comes with basically 2 different caps. You see one on the side of the radiator. So here you see the default one. It's a bit more modest one. The other one is a bit more armory looking, I would say. So you can switch them around. So you can use the one on the right as well.
I was already thinking, what's that on the top of my head?
It basically changes the look and feel of the cooler a little bit. So there are different caps that you can use. Basically, that's the square part around the round CPU block. And it also makes it look a bit more neat, because otherwise you will be looking at the basically the bracket of the CPU socket. So it just makes it look a little bit more neat. So this is our upcoming MPG Core Liquid P13 series. Again, I will try to get my hands on one, and maybe we can show it to you in a future live stream. Mankit, your show is starting, because it's time. It's time to talk about monitors. Or shall we just end the stream here?
We can
call it a day. Head out.
No.
No. Time for monitors.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this year we have quite some monitors. This is one of the first. This is our 4K 27-inch QD-OLED monitor with DP 2.1, 2.1A to be more exact. But right now it's quite unclear what DP 2.1A is, because there are many articles saying it's UHBR 13.5, but then that means that the GPUs that are coming out cannot support that, but it has been said that it supports UHBR 20. So right now it's like a whole thing of.
So the definition of DisplayPort 2.1A is
very
still
unclear,
confusing,
because then you have 2.1A, 2.1B, who knows, maybe 2.1C.
But it supports 80 gigabit per second on the DisplayPort.
Yep. So it supports UHBR 20. Meaning you can run 4K 240 hertz without DSC, so it's lossless.
No compression.
Yep. Because of the because it's 4K on 27-inch, that means that the pixel density is quite high, like a little bit higher. Some people might like that, some people might not. But because of the higher pixel density, we actually have a new electromagnetic layer in the monitor. So Samsung came with a new.
Because it is a Samsung OLED panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we worked together with Samsung to have this new electromagnetic layer in the screen. It's called EL Gen 3, which helps in efficiency with the light. Meaning, even though the pixel density is higher, the brightness has not decreased. Meaning you will still get the same brightness or even higher. We don't know that yet. But the lighting, the brightness is still great on this monitor, so you don't have to be afraid of that. It also has display HDR True Black 500, I think. Or was it 400?
400. Yeah.
Oh, 400. This is a different one. It's a different monitor later. But
it got a CES Innovation Award.
Yep.
This one.
I will be talking about this monitor in a future live stream. I'm hoping to get a sample of this one as soon as possible, so I can show you guys how amazing this thing is. Actually, tempted to buy one, but
Skeets is saying in YouTube chat 66. That's the PPI, so the pixels per inch, is high. Anime would rock on this. I don't watch any anime myself, but I'm sure with this pixel density.
I do watch anime, but just not that much anymore.
Does anime look better with a higher pixel density?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know, because I watch it on the TV. So.
Okay. Of course, the anime video you are watching needs to be high quality as well. But then, usually like a higher pixel density just makes your image sharper. Yeah. So in general, it would look better if your pixel density is higher. But it's a 27-inch monitor, like you mentioned, with an Ultra HD resolution. Yeah. So it is extremely sharp, but probably if you use this in Windows by default and don't use any scaling, then it may be a challenge if your eyes are not very good. So usually I would say for this, you may need a little bit of scaling in Windows. I think from like 32 inches onward on Ultra HD, it's usually quite readable again. So this is extremely sharp.
But it is still using the OLED panel of last year.
Okay. Yeah. And it has USB power delivery.
Yeah, of 98 watts.
Yeah. So if you want to connect and power your notebook, for example, you can do that.
Definitely possible.
Yeah. Then let's head over to the next model, which is a little bit bigger, 32 inches.
Now, this is more my thing because it's bigger.
Yeah.
Also DP 2.1 and UHBR 20, meaning you can also run 4K 240 hertz without any, lossless actually on this monitor as well. Same 98 watts power delivery. So it's, but this one does not have EO Gen 3. So the difference between this one and last year's version is the display port.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 140 ppi, so still not as extremely high as the previous one, but still high pixel.
Very good. Yeah.
And this one, if your eyes are okay, you can probably use this without any scaling.
Yeah.
At least for me, it's comfortable to use a 32 inch without scaling.
For me, I'm more of a fan of 32 inch on 4K as well.
Yeah. That depends on what you do. Like for
gaming.
Yeah, for gaming it doesn't really
work,
matter.
no, I'm not gonna use an OLED for work.
No?
Then I'd rather use like an ultra wide and then IPS or something.
I also see Charles is commenting in YouTube chat, I am preferring ultra wide aspect ratios. Yeah, that's always a preferential thing. I'm not really an ultra wide person,
Only
but
for
I use smaller monitors in general. My preferred monitor size like 24, 25 inches. So definitely not 32, too big for me. Monkey is a fan of that, of the bigger monitors. Yeah. But you also like ultra wide, right?
But ultra wide only for work.
Okay.
So I have a work setup and a gaming setup, and for work it's ultra wide.
I think for certain games, ultra wide is also really nice, like simulator kind of games.
Yeah, simulator strategy games, not shooters.
Racing,
definitely not shooters for me. I can't do that. I tried.
It is immersive though.
Yeah, it is.
But
immersive.
like competitive shooters, it probably won't work.
But I need to look way too.
Yeah, it is white. Yeah.
Yeah. If I were to play professionally, probably like a 24 inch. I think you use a 24, right?
I use a 24. Yeah. Correct. Okay, let's head over to our next one because talking about more professional gaming.
Yeah.
Higher refresh rates.
This one is our G-Sync Pulsar monitor. So right now, I think there are 3 or 4 G-Sync Pulsar gaming monitors. This is our G-Sync Pulsar monitor joining the lineup. And this one has 360 hertz and it's an IPS panel, but still, because of the G-Sync Pulsar, this is an amazing monitor for gaming. So definitely worth the look if you're interested in a high refresh rate monitor.
Yeah. And this is 1440p, right?
Yeah, 1440p.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and so a couple streams ago, I was talking about a new naming rule. So I don't know if any of the viewers see something new with our names.
X36.
Yeah. So confusing for me at first, but I've adapted and I overcame now. But X stands for higher than 200 hertz.
Yeah, it's refresh rate,
the
right?
number
because
after,
here I saw.
No. Here you don't have anything.
No. Okay.
Because when that one came out, when we were coming with the new monitor, we didn't have that naming rule yet.
Okay. So this is a new thing.
Yeah.
So basically, with the X, you can see what the refresh rate will be.
With X, you know it's above 200 hertz.
Okay, so if it's 200, it will be X20?
Yeah.
Okay.
If
240,
it's lower,
X24?
Yeah.
360, X36?
Yeah.
So that means our next one, X50, is 500 hertz.
Yeah, definitely. So this is one of the, I think a lot of people are actually really interested in this one. 500 hertz is so high.
And this is an OLED.
Yeah, this is an OLED, meaning response times are insane on this monitor as well. Has a G-Sync module as well. This is like top of the line product.
So what is the resolution of this one?
1440p. So,
okay, so 1440p, 500 hertz OLED.
Yeah. Meaning,
so for esports kind of games, this would also be really cool.
Definitely, right? Because I would definitely use this mostly for esports kind of games because it's easier to hit 500 FPS. Try to get 500 FPS on, let's say,
Cyberpunk.
With
ray tracing on ultra.
Yeah, you're maybe possible on 1440p. I don't know, like maybe with the new technology and everything coming out, but.
Still, I think that will be still hard.
But for games like CS2 or
easy,
Valorant,
as long as your CPU is quick enough, you can way beyond.
You can go even beyond that, and this, I hope to get a sample of this one as well, because then I can actually experience how this feels like. Oh,
I already see a spoiler in chat. 600 hertz, I saw somewhere.
Yeah, that's another
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
But yeah. And because of DP 2.1, you can actually run this lossless as well. So you can run 500 hertz lossless on 1440p.
Okay. And again, 98 watts USB Type-C power delivery.
Yeah.
Can you maybe talk a little bit more about DisplayPort? You already touched on it a little bit.
So for the people that are a little bit unfamiliar with, what's DisplayPort 1.4? Why is it such a big thing with monitors, and why are people asking about it so much? So in the past, when you wanted to use 4K 240 on DisplayPort 1.4, you had to enable DSC, meaning you had to compress the images on your screen to make sure that you can run 4K 240. But there are some people that would like to use DSR, and that is upscaling. And then you have deep learning DSR, so deep learning upscaling. But because of the fact that it can only support 32.4 gigabits per second, it was not possible to turn on 4K 240 and...
because you run into like a bandwidth bottleneck.
Yeah, there's a bandwidth bottleneck. And even if your monitor had DisplayPort 2.1, the GPUs did not have UHBR20, so no DisplayPort 2.1. But with the new monitors and the new GPUs, you can actually run this. So you can run 4K 240 with DSR and DLDSR. Mouthful, but yeah.
Okay, then let's head over to our next monitor. Another 32-inch.
So this is the white version of our last year's 4K 32-inch model. And besides the fact, besides this color change, there's no spec change.
So this is same monitor, also qd-oled one, but in white.
Yeah, but with 3 watts higher power delivery.
Okay.
Because last one was...
in case your
no, 8 watts. Sorry, 8 watts.
Okay. Yeah. So it was 90 watts, now it's 98. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I want to charge my laptop, how much faster is this?
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, also depending on notebook,
it depends on your notebook, yeah. I wonder if it can even charge... Do our laptops even support that? We have Thunderbolt, right, on our laptops?
Yeah, certain. It depends on the notebook you have. But mine, I have an older notebook, so this one cannot do power delivery yet. But for example, some of the notebooks we talked about earlier in this live stream,
they support that.
But the high-end ones, they require 140 watts. So for example, if you run like one of the latest Intel Core Ultras or X3D CPUs in combination with a mobile 5090, then 98 watts wouldn't be enough anymore.
But perfect for people that want to use like a, let's say like a lower tier.
Yeah, like especially for example, if you have a gaming system and you also work from home in the same place, and you want to basically dock your notebook on it because it also has KVM functionality, so you can just connect your keyboard and mouse to it, and then you basically use the USB Type-C as like a docking function. And then if your notebook supports it, of course, you can charge it through that Type-C, but also connect. Well, if you have DisplayPort output, you can also do that even.
Yeah.
So you can do everything through one cable. You get your mouse and keyboard connected, you get your monitor connected, the display signal, and you can power it all through that single USB Type-C. So I think that's a very convenient thing.
And all of our MPG OLED models support this. So KVM and high power delivery. But the MAG models, they do not support KVM.
Okay. Question in chat, 1000 hertz, when?
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it came, I don't know, maybe next year or something.
I don't know, to be honest.
I
this
really
is also
don't know,
completely guessing, by the way.
Yeah.
We don't know. This all depends also on the panel manufacturers. So we make monitors, but we don't make the panel. So for example, the qd-oled monitors that you see here, they use Samsung panels from Samsung Display. If panel vendors come out with higher refresh rate panels, we will make sure to make monitors of it.
140 Hz not enough? Not for me anymore.
No?
No. I really noticed the difference when I play 240 and 144. Only in shooters. That's where I notice it. In different games, like in other games, or when watching videos, definitely not.
But so you notice it, but is it really annoying for you already to play on 144 Hz? Because when I play on 60, it immediately annoys me.
Oh, definitely. 60 and 144, that gap is huge. It's not as big as 144 to 240, no.
Yeah, because at home I still use 165 hertz at home, and here, of course, at the office, sometimes I play like a 360 hertz monitor, but it's always easy for me to go back to the 165. I think that's still very manageable. Below 120, I would say, then it starts to annoy me. But yeah, it does feel even a bit smoother when you go higher. Yeah.
It just feels a little bit laggy for me. It feels like it's lag, but it's not. But like maybe because, I don't know, it just feels less fluid. Maybe this is a spoiled problem. I mean, I run an OLED with
first world problem.
Yeah, I'm spoiled with like gaming. So, but yeah.
I also had that with when starting to use a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, I can't go back.
No, when you go to membrane, it also really annoys me. Yeah, with monitors, I think especially as soon as you go from 60 to 120 hertz or higher, then it's very hard to go back to 60. For me, if it's higher than 120, for me it's okay.
But after a while, you get used to it. Anyways, that's how.
That's true.
Like at work, I use both of my monitors are 144, and I get used to it after a while. But it's for work, so it's different. But yeah, let's continue.
Okay, this one has already been spoiled in chat because I see X60.
Yeah.
So that has to mean 600 hertz. What's the N?
N means TN, and in this case, rapid TN. So this is our 600 hertz monitor, and this is more aimed at.
So this is our highest refresh rate so far.
Yes.
On a monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is more aimed at esports players, so people that are playing Valorant or CS2. This is aimed for that target group, and you can notice that because it's also in full HD. So it's not 1440p or 4K, it's full HD.
But for competitive gaming, that's actually an advantage because you can reach higher frame rates when running full HD compared to 1440p, Ultra HD, etc.
And you're gonna love this, it's 24-inch.
Yeah, this I would...
So this is...
For gaming, this would be perfect for me. Because I use my computer for multiple purposes. For productivity things, I'm not the biggest fan of 1080p. But for gaming, for me, it's perfectly fine. And 600 hertz in 1080p for gaming is the dream, I would say at least. Also the size, because I don't have to look left, right, center, so I can see everything in one glance, basically.
And the reason you're going to love this even more, it has a KVM switch as well.
Nice.
And it has 98 watts power delivery.
Nice.
So you can actually work on it as well, but then again...
So when are you going to arrange one of these from?
To be honest, I hope to get a sample of every
Would be nice, we can do a live stream with it.
And this one will be our esports monitor.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is really targeted at esports players. So TN is known to be very fast. It's not specifically the best for color accuracy. No, it's not the best for viewing angles. It's not the best for contrast. No. For example, OLED is of course extremely good at contrast. But this is really for speed. So if you want to have very high refresh rate, very fast response times, then OLED is of course even faster in response times, but not in refresh rate. But yeah, really.
So some people are saying why are we not sticking with IPS? The thing is, Rapid VA is actually very, very similar to IPS. That's why Rapid VA's viewing angle is quite good compared to standard VA panels. And Rapid VA is a technology. I remember Ruud explaining this to me, but Rapid VA is pretty much IPS, in a sense. It's the same technology.
Yeah, not all VA panels are the same.
No.
That's definitely.
But Rapid VA is very close to IPS. The color percentage, I don't know, because this is a very new product.
Yeah, this is not intended for color accuracy.
No.
So if you want to do Photoshop work, if you want to get the colors that you would get from the printer as well, this is not made for that. This is really meant to be fast, to play esports games. If you want to go pro in Counter-Strike or whatever, then this is probably the monitor.
Welcome, 500 and 600 hertz is beyond what GPU gives. Well, that's why it's called an esports monitor. It's for esport games, which can achieve high FPS.
Yeah, 600 FPS in games like Counter-Strike, if you have a very fast CPU, because that's important, especially at 1080p resolution. But if you're running like a 9800 X3D with a relatively high-end graphics card, you can go easily beyond 600 FPS in esports titles. Counter-Strike being one of them, Rocket League being one of them, Valorant can also achieve very high FPS. So that's really the target group of this monitor, esports players.
Yeah.
And it supports AMD FreeSync Premium as well. Then let's head over to the next one.
This one is actually our mini LED dual mode monitor. So this one has 1152 zones, and
so it is still an IPS display, but mini LED background line.
And for the people that are wondering, okay, so what does the 1152 zones mean? It means it has 1152 dimming zones, meaning the difference between a standard LCD and a mini LED screen is that you have zones which can turn off independently.
So the mini LEDs are also behind the panel and not like on the sides.
Meaning it can go very bright because it's not an OLED, but it can also reach...
So this is cool stuff for HDR.
Yeah, because this can achieve great blacks as well. So the more dimming zones you have, the better the blacks will be on your screen. So there are some people that are still afraid of things like, oh yeah, is OLED for me, because the things like burn-in and stuff like that. And they might go for a mini LED. It's the same thing with TVs. There are TVs with mini LEDs. But that's why we have these types of monitors.
It also depends a bit on the setting. Like if you're usually in a very bright room and you want to use your screen at a high brightness, mini LED is very good at that.
Exactly.
That's for once. But also, if you run your screen on a very high brightness, the risk of burn-in with OLED would increase. Yeah. So for that target group, I could definitely see a good use case for mini LED.
And I think this would also be it would be quite fine for working as well, because you don't have to be afraid of things.
And consuming HDR content.
Yeah. Because
movies, games, those.
This one has display HDR 1000.
1000. Yeah.
Because it can reach 1000 nits.
Yeah.
So it's
the peak brightness very high. So if you watch HDR content and someone is, let's say you're watching a movie, someone is taking a picture, then you get blinded by the flash basically.
But because we have dual mode, this monitor is also perfect for gaming as well. Meaning you can go to 4K 160 Hz, which is perfect for games such as like Cyberpunk or Black Myth Wukong. That type of refresh rate is enough for those types of games.
NO 1800.
Yeah. Really? Is that hard to reach, or?
No, 160 Hz is doable.
Okay,
if you have a higher end PC, then you can do that, and it will look very good in a 4K resolution.
But we also have Full HD 320 Hz, which is perfect if you want to play something competitive.
Yeah. And usually, like, it's a 27-inch monitor. When gaming, I would say 1080p on 27-inch. I would never recommend that for productivity things, because then it may look a little bit pixely because the pixel density is not the highest. But in gaming, you don't really notice that, I would say. And of course, 320 Hz for esports titles.
It's enough. More than enough.
That would be definitely a pleasant experience.
I mean, it's like I said, above a certain hertz, I think.
You say more than enough, but it also depends on the person.
Yeah.
Like a pro esports player nowadays may not set off with 320, but they would go for that 600
But for
Hz
the
monitor,
general, I think like the occasional FPS player, it's enough.
Yeah.
Because 240 Hz is enough for me, and I'm a occasional casual player.
A filthy casual.
I'm a filthy casual. No?
And this monitor also has a very fancy backside.
Yeah. So I talked with Eric about this. He says this is ugly. And who's gonna look at the back of the monitor? And I'm like, this looks lovely. Look at all that RGB. I mean, okay, nobody's gonna look at the back. I get that, but I don't know. It just does.
Depends on how you position your monitor, but
Yeah.
usually, I think most people have it facing the wall.
Yeah.
It
And
will
then-
also illuminate the wall a
Yeah.
bit.
So it'll give you like some ambience lighting. So for me, it looks great. But yeah.
It's a bit futuristic, I would say.
Yeah.
Looks a bit like a spaceship.
Give me like a kind of like an
I can see that it's not for everyone.
alien vibe-ish type of like in space spaceship.
Yeah. But there's even more monitors.
Yep. I'm not done yet.
So we had X, but this is E.
Yep.
So what's E?
E is below 200 hertz.
Okay.
But
E16 is then
E16.
160 hertz.
so that's why like with the previous monitor with the
Yeah.
mini LED, it was also E16.
Okay.
But that's because you can run 4K 160,
Mm-hmm.
but in Full HD you have 320 hertz. But this one is the non-mini LED version. So
So this
is,
one can still go beyond. So it should be E16, X, 32.
Yeah, but then you would have a mouthful.
Yeah.
So it would be the MAG272 URDF E16 X32.
I've just made my new password.
Oh, that would be a great password, but now you've spoiled
It's very
it.
safe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, not anymore maybe when
No,
saying
not
it here
anymore.
on
Now
live
that, you know, I think that's how they came with the product names. Their PC
Password
passwords.
generator.
Yeah.
So basically, in terms of specifications, very similar to one we just talked
Yeah.
about, but this one regular backlit, so
Yeah.
not mini LED,
Yeah.
but still IPS panel, dual mode, 4K 160 or 1080p 320. Okay, then these are very interesting monitors, Michael.
Yeah. So
I'm missing something.
Well, these are monitor arms.
Okay.
So the left one is the MT271GA, and that one is aimed more at. You know, I actually had this written down. Sorry, guys. I actually need to look the info up.
This better be a good story.
Yeah. No, because I found this information. So yeah, okay. So it can support.
Because this is still very new, right? We haven't shown these before.
No. These are, I would say, more towards the high-end monitor arms. That's why it's called MPG. It has the MPG.
So these have like a gas spring kind of
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
But it's also because the MT271GA can support up to 27 kilograms. That's a lot.
27 kilograms. Do
And
we even have monitors that come close to that?
Yeah, the dual quad HD monitors are getting towards.
Oh, those are of course very
and
big.
this monitor arm can actually support that. So it can
Okay.
support up to 57-inch.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
So this arm could also carry a lot of beer
but
if you want to have it next to you.
27 kilograms is only for flat monitors. If you want to hang up a curved
Curve?
monitor, it will be 22.
22.
And the reason for that is because the center of gravity, so
That one, of course, will
that
move forward.
will move
with,
forward more. So
yeah.
that means the monitor arm cannot support it that much because the center of gravity is.
I would say
at a
22
different point.
kilograms is still a
It
lot
is
for
still
a monitor.
Yeah, because I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen well, I don't own a monitor that's that heavy. So I think most of the monitors are around like 10 kilograms max that I've seen.
And then an MT161
The
is
other
then
one-
up to 16 kilograms. Do I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Because the other name
Yeah.
says 27
For
and it supports
flat
20.
panels.
For flat panels, okay.
And then 13 for
curved
For
ones.
curved.
Okay.
But
So the left one is a bit more of a heavy duty
Yeah.
type of arm.
and this one can support up to 49-inch monitors.
And both of them also have RGB, right?
Yeah. And
Extra FPS with your monitor arm.
but the left one, so the MT271GA, that one supports multiple Visa sizes, so like 75 times 75, 100 times 100, but also 150 times 150 and 200 times 200.
But that's always an important thing. So
Yeah.
in order to use these monitor arms, your monitor needs to support VESA mount.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have VESA mount, you cannot properly
No.
Yeah, maybe with some duct tape and tie wraps, but I wouldn't recommend.
I wouldn't recommend
Yeah,
that.
it probably also avoids the warranty in case your monitor falls off.
Yeah.
So make sure you have proper face mount support on your monitor in order to use arms like these.
But I like the color scheme. It gives me the old school red and
Black gaming
black
vibes,
gaming
like our old
vibes,
graphics cards and
yeah.
stuff. That's true. So
so
this is another monitor. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, so this is more a commercial monitor, so not for gaming.
How many hertz?
60.
60. Yeah.
So this is a smart monitor. So
Okay.
not aimed for gaming, but definitely can be used for gaming. It's 4K, but it's because it's a smart monitor, you can actually run Google. So it's kind of like a Google TV type of monitor. So you can watch movies with it. But
so it's a bit like smart TVs running Android TV or like the Chromecast with Google TV.
yeah,
So that
That
kind of
type.
okay.
yeah. But yeah, you
can run YouTube with the ad blocker, with the side-loaded app.
Not sure, and I'm not sure I want to encourage people to do stuff like that. No,
But maybe there are options to install stuff like that on.
but
But you haven't heard that from us.
no, scratch that, cut that out. But you can also use this to work because you can, with your phone, you can actually cast your phone screen on a monitor, and when you use the monitor, you can actually use your mouse to select the part of the monitor that's active. So meaning you can use your phone and your PC at the same time.
Okay.
So that's why it's more of a productivity / media consumption TV. And it also runs Google OS, so you can go to the App Store and download other types of apps on it. So you can also watch Netflix, of course, stuff like that on the monitor as well. And it also runs, I think it was called like Streamer Prime, something like that. But it's also great for streaming as well. So for the people that...
Without a separate device, so you don't need like a PC
No.
with it.
Because it's one platform that can run, that can stream multiple programs.
Yeah, of course, if you have a PC with it, you can also stream through your PC. But if you're watching something on Netflix, it will be a lot more power efficient to use the internals of the monitor rather than keeping your PC powered
And of
on.
course, it has speakers. So if you don't have speakers yet, this one has it as well.
Okay. Talking about productivity, this is like a portable monitor, but it's not really portable.
Yeah. So you can guess from the name, what does E10 mean?
100 hertz.
Yeah. So it's 100 hertz.
I'm a quick learner.
But it's 24 inches, and then the question is, do you call this portable or not?
It does look like a portable monitor, especially with the kind of foot that you're using.
But if you go to the next picture, you can see the size comparison to a QB.
So this wouldn't fit my backpack. But I can see if you want to run like more of a mobile workstation kind of thing. Like, for example, I need to do some video editing on the go. And I don't have a notebook for that, but I do have a small mini ITX PC. Then I could see this work.
Now, to be honest, I think this is right on the edge of being a portable monitor.
It is debatable whether or not this is portable.
But then again, I don't have it in my hand, so it's hard to like...
Let's try to get our hands on one, because maybe we can try it out in a live stream once.
Yeah, definitely. And the 100 hertz, I like that because I can't stand 60. So 100 is, it's... I
would kind of like this for LAN parties, because it's quite easy to take
That's
compared
what
to
I
a
wanted to
monitor
say.
with like a monitor foot.
Yeah, because on the back there's a monitor stand, so you don't have to buy like a separate monitor stand.
It's like a kick-out stand?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
So I think for things like a portable PC, or if you want to go to like a LAN party, stuff like that, I think this would be perfect. And 100 hertz, it's enough for work. For gaming also, I think
Jake Collin also has a good suggestion. Perfect monitor for taking to CES for video editing. That I could definitely see it working.
I could definitely see that working.
Then let's head... Oh, I see a lot of products here. So what are we looking at here?
Okay.
I see Pro MP
So the
251E2.
focus here is the Pro MP 251E2.
So this one is 20 hertz.
120 hertz. So
Why
here,
doesn't it
here
E12?
we don't have the new naming schedule
Okay.
yet. So people, you guys might get confused.
I'm so glad that you're super consistent with it.
Hey, you know, I actually complained, but they said no. This is what we decided. So I don't know. I'm trying.
So you're dealing with it.
Yeah. But E2 stands for version 2 in this case. But
Okay.
new monitors that are coming in the future, like they're coming out in the future.
And
they
this
will
is
have
25 inches then.
24.5.
Yeah, okay. Round it up to 25.
Yeah.
With the MP25.
But this is our actually one of our few pro monitors that actually has 120 hertz.
120 hertz.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is well, you can actually game on it now. I think 120 is.
So
good
if you
enough.
work from home,
Yeah.
but you want a game in the boss's time, then this is the monitor to get.
Yeah.
Because it looks like you're working, because you're sitting behind your pro monitor,
Yeah.
and in the meanwhile you're playing games.
But yeah, that's true.
Okay, okay.
But this supports. So with our new QB, I don't know if I want to talk about QB right now, but you can turn on your QB.
I always want to talk about QB. QB is cute.
You can turn on your QB with a monitor. So
With a monitor?
Yeah. So through HDMI CEC. So it's the same thing as.
So
with,
no separate button?
No, you
okay.
turn on your monitor
Oh, that's
and
cool.
your
That's cool.
QB will turn on, and it also works with the Pro DP80, which is the PC that you see on the
System
left
on
side.
the left,
Yeah. But yeah, these things are made purely for productivity, in my opinion. If you want to play games on these, go ahead. But then I would go for at least 144.
Yeah, you're spoiled.
Or
Then let's head over
165
to
or 180.
a modern, and I see AM27, so that should be 27 inches.
Yeah.
I see
And this
AI.
is AI. And now
Still,
you're
is AI still the buzzword in 2025? Because
Because
2024 everything was
I think
AI.
it's going to be even more. I mean, after
AI?
after the after the announcement of the 50 series and with AI, everything is going to be AI. I think there's going to be more AI this year than last year.
Even more.
Yeah, you should let Eric say AI. But there was a question earlier. What's the difference between AI and AI Plus in the product name? The difference is that AI Plus means that it supports Copilot Plus, but if it only says AI, it means it can only support standard Copilot.
And the reason that it supports Copilot in this
Plus.
case, Plus even, is because it's not a monitor.
Oh no, this one is non-plus, but this is
Okay.
not a monitor. This is an all-in-one PC.
So there is a complete system hidden inside the
Yeah.
monitor, basically,
Yeah.
based on Intel Core Ultra processor.
Yeah.
So this is not just a smart interface like we saw with the previous one running Google TV.
Yeah.
That will run a more simplistic, probably ARM kind of chip.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a full-featured
This is
Core
full
Ultra
feature.
7 CPU.
Yeah, and this has dual 2.5 gig LAN. It has 100 hertz, so working perfect. It's WQHD, so perfect size for me, in my opinion, with 27 inch. It's an
Nice for productivity as well.
Yeah, IPS panel. So let's say you're going to use this at the office and you want to share something with a colleague. No viewing angle problems. Has Thunderbolt as well, and you can run AI engine. And in AI engine, you also have power meter. So if you want to make your PC more power efficient, you can use power meter to run it into, for example, eco mode, meaning it will use less wattage when using the PC. But for me, yeah, it's.
But you'll probably get less power as well
Yeah.
for it. Okay.
But for me, it was a little bit weird because I've never heard of a all-in-one in a monitor
No?
before working here. No,
No?
no. That's why.
We used to have gaming all-in-ones in the past. It's a long time ago, but we had they had like usually mobile hardware, like a mobile CPU, mobile graphics card, integrated into a monitor. It's quite a while ago, but we had in that black and red color scheme actually.
Maybe
That was pretty cool. Maybe
yeah.
we still have some laying around.
might take a look.
Okay, then let's head over to a desktop. And
So
this is a new generation.
Yeah. So this is a Pro DP180 second.
Where's the AI? I see it on the card, but not in the top left. So can it do AI?
it can do AI, but still just Copilot, not Copilot Plus.
Okay. Good.
And this one also has it's a bigger version of the QB, but this
also
one,
more powerful version.
Yeah, because this one also supports a discrete graphics card, meaning you can also do, like video editing, such stuff like that. Photo editing will be quite much faster on these types of desktops.
Also things like encoding, especially for one of the later generations of NVIDIA cards. They're very good at, for example, AV1 encoding, those kind of things. Okay.
Question, why use Intel when AMD is just better? Workloads, I guess. Yeah.
It depends on what you want to use. It all depends on preference as well. In terms of connectivity, Intel has some nice benefits as well. AMD is also very good, for example, gaming. I could see why you would want to go for like an X3D CPU. That's also, for example, why in many of the notebooks that we talked about earlier, we have the option for both. So we have basically almost the same notebook, but you can choose either for an AMD or an Intel one based on your preferences. And you can go with whatever you like best.
But these PCs are mostly used by companies, so companies purchase these PCs mostly because these also have COM ports. They have a lot of I/O ports in the back to make sure that everything can get connected. But also dual 2.5 gig LAN for security reasons, so you can use one for your internet while you use the other one for security.
And what's the small icon on the bottom right?
The bottom right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Visa. So you can mount it behind your PC.
Like this?
Behind your screen, yeah. So this one is the
model
that's being used is the Pro MP251E2.
Okay.
And together with the, just with the QB NUC, you can turn on the PC through...
Also through the HDMI-C. Nice.
And these are the small things, but these are... This actually, I think, helps a lot. It makes sure that's cleaner, more efficient, because then you don't have to turn two things on, just turn on your monitor, and you can just start working.
Talking about small things, keep your pants on, but let's talk about QB.
Ah, yes, the QB NUC AI Plus 2M.
Do I see a fingerprint reader on the power button?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So we actually have a
So there you want to log in, you switch it off again, or so you should touch it carefully, right?
I think if I remember correctly, you can unlock your PC with it.
Okay, cool.
But I didn't like the location. That's just a personal preference.
Have you tried this already? Do we have one of these?
No.
I want to try this out. I want to see how firm the button is to see if you would accidentally press it or not.
Imagine.
But this supports Copilot Plus.
Yeah, because the CPU has enough tops to support Copilot Plus.
So despite being in a very small form factor, it can still do Copilot Plus.
That's why this QB NUC AI Plus 2M actually also has a mic in the PC itself.
Okay.
And also speakers.
Okay.
So you can actually talk with your...
have a conversation with your PC.
Yeah,
Hello PC, how are you doing?
No, you can
how was your day?
That's actually pretty much how it works. So
how many people touched you today?
Oh, come on.
I'm already looking forward to conversations.
How often have you been touched? But just as with the Pro DP80, you can mount this on the backside of your monitor and also turn it on. Oh, come on.
We're not making this any better. Switch it on, yes.
Switch it on through the monitor. And also has Wi-Fi 7, so it has all the gimmicks that you need.
So this is what it looks like on the inside.
Yeah. So the QB NUC, you can actually buy it bare bones, or you can buy it fully assembled as well. And this is what the inside of a QB NUC looks like. So there you have it.
Yeah. And this is a different QB, right?
So this is the
looks
QB.
A bit different.
This is the QB NUC AI 1UM, meaning.
So no Copilot Plus on this one because it doesn't have the AI Plus. Yeah. Okay.
So this one only supports regular Copilot. Still very powerful, but because you can still run Copilot, the regular one, and it still has an NPU inside of it. And some people are thinking, okay, what I'm going to use an NPU for? You can use it for stuff like noise canceling, like background removal, stuff like that. Like these are the things that that the NPU can run, so that your CPU does not have to use their resources to
So
run
they're kind of
that.
offloading it
Yeah.
to the NPU. Yeah.
So that means your CPU itself can run other programs more efficiently while still running stuff like noise cancelling and just putting it on the loads of the NPU.
It's a pity we don't have this one here, because I'm very tempted to press
Oh.
that separate button.
We do have that one. Well,
we do
not,
have this
not,
one.
Not here, but I borrowed it before. I did a live
With the
stream on it.
button?
Yeah.
Oh, can you bring it to my desk soon so I can press the button all the time? It should be even bigger, and it should be red, so you can just smash it. That would be perfect.
Well, the thing is,
Want to switch on my PC, you just smack the button. Get all the aggression out.
but this one also supports the external power link, so you can turn on.
So you
your
can do it
mother-
through
yeah.
the HDMI CES as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So this was a lot of pro desktops,
Yeah.
but there is also a very cool new gaming
Ooh,
desktop coming up, right?
So this is the MEG Vision X AI Second, meaning this is our top of the tier, top of the line product. This is our highest end pre-built, and this will come with a.
Also the coolest looking one, I think.
Yeah. This will come with a 50 series as well, and the cool thing about this one is that it's actually smaller. That's something I
Smaller.
do like.
Okay.
And it's using Project Zero.
Oh,
So,
in a pre-build.
Yeah, Project
Because of
Zero.
course this one you can also, you have I think it's tempered glass side panel, so you
Yeah.
can watch in it.
And it's using an AIO. And yes, as some people have noticed, this has a display on the front.
This is actually a pre-build that looks quite a bit like a DIY system, but then with a very cool special
Yeah,
case.
because this is a
And
touch
got an innovation award. That's nice.
Yeah, because this is you
Two
can
even.
control it with touchscreen, and use cases that I would see it on is like you put your chat programs there as well.
The question in chat: display on the front, or is it just a reflection? No, it is a display.
No, this is a display.
Yeah.
And we
Basically, the whole
actually-
front is a display.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But we also run AI programs on the screen itself, meaning you can. There's a software on the panel. You can actually generate backgrounds.
It's nice that it can do something AI. We haven't talked about AI before today.
Uh-huh.
But you can also just use it as a monitor, right? I can watch a movie in the front of the case, right? It's maybe not the perfect aspect ratio for a movie, but
I think it would work. I would not use a second monitor anymore. I would just put this next to my main monitor.
this would be nice if you're streaming and you can have chat on the front of your case. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's crazy because like I think like 2 or 3 years ago we didn't have that many AI stuff, and here we are now, and we have this things like Discord chat, or your Spotify or whatever programs you use, or TeamSpeak. I don't know if
If you want to keep track of the stock market.
yeah, stuff like that. It's a second monitor that can also.
You can basically use it for everything you want to use
Yeah.
a second monitor for. Yeah.
But I like the fact that it's touchscreen.
Yeah.
And it's an IPS panel.
And keep in mind, it is of course in portrait mode.
Mhm.
So, like I mentioned, watching a movie, that would be not great because they're usually, I would say, 99.9% of the movies are in landscape mode.
Mhm.
At least they should be.
And the size is 13.3 inch.
That's really big.
Yeah. Because in the picture it might not look that big, but it's actually quite big.
Yeah, for a screen on a case, that's very big. Yeah.
Refresh rate, I think it's 60 hertz. Rather use a tablet for that. Turn
So
it on
no Counter-Strike gaming on the front of the case?
turn it on its side.
That'll work. I
That
want to watch a
works.
movie. Let me flip over my PC.
Yeah. Definitely works with an AIO. No, I wouldn't do that.
Let's do another giveaway
Ah.
before we head over to our last chapter for today.
Uh,
So you can still participate. Go to msi.com/2/insider or follow the direct link that our bot puts in the chat once every 5 minutes to participate in our Gleam giveaway.
so we're gonna do one or one now and one at
One
the
more
end?
and one at the end of the stream. I think it's
Alright.
nice.
Cost. I don't know. I don't know any cost of any of these
No,
products.
still too early.
It's too
Yeah.
way too early.
No.
What a
It's a
fun.
good nickname.
You can say it this time.
Noob Snail, congratulations. You also won a Steam wallet code. So please keep it out of your mailbox, then we'll email the code to you in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it. And then it's time to go to our last chapter for today, and that is gaming gear. A lot of new keyboards.
As a
fancy looking
like,
ones.
you know, I like keyboards.
Yeah, me too.
I think this is a good.
We're both
step
keyboard
forward.
enthusiasts, and you also do a lot with custom keyboards. And usually they have very nice color combinations. And now you can also get them in MSI pre-built keyboards. So we will have several models in the future, so Strike 700 wireless, Forge GK600 TKL wireless, a lot of different color combinations. I heard there will also be different switch options, PBT keycaps, tiny displays for info. You can see it on the top right of the keyboard. What I really like is the compact form factor. I don't, especially for gaming, I don't like a full-size keyboard.
No.
Like a numpad is just in my way. For office work, I just still like a numpad there.
Yes, they're hop swappable.
Yeah, they're hot swappable switches indeed. But yeah, I think for gaming this is ideal because it basically increases the space you also have available for a bigger mouse pad where you can move. Like I always play on a very low sensitivity, so I need a lot of space for my mouse pad because I have a very big mouse pad. And then these tiny keyboards are great.
Yeah,
Really nice.
I love compact TKLs because actually almost all of my keyboards are compact TKLs. I only have one full size, and that one is the one I use for work.
Yeah.
And I also have a 60%, but 60%.
It's too small, I think.
Too small again.
Because you lose your F row, and then I'm not a fan of, and no arrow keys.
Yeah. And I use the F1, F2, and stuff like that. I actually use that for games.
F my life, and
and number 2.
So you can use it with a cable. You can also use it with a dongle through 2.4 gigahertz, or you can connect it through Bluetooth. Yeah. So if you want to use it on the go with a notebook or whatever, you can also do that.
I actually bring my. You see that every day.
You always take it.
I always bring
my
my custom keyboards to work.
They also come with sound dampening structure, so that gives it a very nice sound, but also less noisy, so you don't get the pling, which you sometimes get from the backplate.
I've actually heard that these keyboards actually sound quite thocky, which I really do like, because my keyboards, when I built them, I aim to get that thocky sound and not clacky. So I think I think I would definitely get one of these and then mod it myself. Something like that.
Because custom keyboards, they tend to be very expensive, but from what I've heard, I don't know exact amounts, but these should be very affordable. Yeah. So definitely keep an eye out on those. If you still prefer to go full size and maybe have more features on your keyboard, then you could also go for the Strike Pro Wireless.
Talking about that one.
Yeah, we have one of those.
We have one of those here.
This one was also briefly in our Gamescom live stream earlier on. This is a full-size keyboard, of course, which you can use wirelessly, hence the name Strike Pro Wireless. This one also has the sound dampening structure, so it is relatively silent. Can you maybe type on it a little bit?
Oh yeah, of course. You know what? I'll put my mic there because this one actually has silent switches, which is very different than
They're
what
also
I'm used
hot
to.
swappable, by the way. They're actually super silent switches.
Yeah. Wait, let me see if this is.
So this is the Strike Pro Wireless. It's quite silent.
Yeah. That's
It's not really the clacky thing that you...
Yeah, so the first thing I noticed in the office is that it was a lot more quiet than before. Because Peter was using this, and then I was thinking, normally I hear blue switches in the office, and now I heard silent switches, and I thought,
Did you also notice that my typing was a lot quieter? Because I'm currently testing a keyboard for Peter.
I
cannot give you any details yet about which model exactly, but I'm also testing one that is a lot more... I used to use the Kill box wide switches on a GK50 Elite, and now I'm also testing one of the silent
To be honest, I thought you weren't typing.
Yeah, because usually it's very easy to tell when I'm typing.
Because normally, you know, I can't even get this, like even if I slam on this keyboard, I can't get it as loud as how he types in the office.
I'm a very loud typist.
You know,
very loud.
We call him the rage typer in the office.
So it also comes with some nice media buttons. Maybe you can show those up close, and a volume wheel as well in the top.
So here on the, well, for me it's on the left side, well, right side. depends what angle you're looking at it from. You have
PBT
media buttons
keycaps
as well.
Yeah.
PBT keycaps. You have a volume wheel, scrolling wheel here.
Okay, maybe also show the wrist rest, because this is actually a memory foam one.
Yep. Wait, can we? Oh, can be? No, okay, no. This is actually magnetic, so you can actually click it on the.
Click it on the keyboard, and it attaches magnetically.
Attaches magnetically. And I like it because it's quite soft. Maybe not that.
So when you're bored at the office, you can just sleep on your wrist rest.
I'm not gonna sleep on it now, but no, it's not cherry. These are not MX cherry. No. Oh, and you have a small small screen-ish type of thing. It's not really a screen, but you can see when it's charging, stuff like that. You can see that here, and it's hot swappable.
Did you already show where the dongle is? I just noticed. That's pretty cool.
The dongle is actually here in the top. So one problem I have right now with my keyboards is that I don't have a place to hide my USB.
You don't have a place in your keyboard to put your dongle?
No. Oh. Not on the ones that I built in the past. Like the newer ones, yeah, they do have that.
Okay.
But this is perfect because then I don't need to look for a place to actually put the USB. Because now at home I have a couple keyboards where I don't know where the dongle is anymore. So they're not wireless anymore.
They also don't have Bluetooth support? Because this one you can still use wirelessly if you don't have the dongle over Bluetooth.
But
you get more delay usually.
But the Bluetooth, it also depends how good your Bluetooth, what do you call that, like reaches and everything.
Yeah, okay, because usually I don't use my keyboard very far from my...
No, but like I had...
And for battery life, Bluetooth is also the most impressive one usually, because it's very low power consumption. Because
I had some keyboards, mice, gaming mice that use Bluetooth, and then I couldn't control it. Like my TV would be here at the front, and I couldn't even control my PC.
Then you need a new Bluetooth dongle.
Yeah. No, it was only that mouse. I think that brand was just not that good.
Talking about mouse, you have one in front of you.
Yeah.
And this is the Versa 300 Elite Wireless. We actually already did a dedicated live stream about this, both the Elite and the regular version. I did some gaming together with Eric, so we tried them out. Let's have a quick close look at it. But if you want to get all the details about these mice, then definitely check out the dedicated live stream.
RGB.
Yes, very lightweight mouse, very high-end sensor in the Elite as well. So a Pixar PAW3395 optical sensor, arm-on switches. Also, you can use it with cable, 2.4 gigahertz wireless.
Great place to hide the USB dongle.
Yeah, the USB dongle is now inside the PC because we actually use this mouse for the giveaway. So that one is in the streaming PC at the moment. And it also supports Bluetooth. And
it's easy to swap to like Bluetooth and
you can
2.4 gigahertz connection. You just change the slider.
And through Bluetooth, because it's so power efficient, you can actually use it for up to 200 hours of battery life.
What's the price of the Project Zero X?
Oh, this is still a concept, this is still a concept. Yeah. So that's impossible to say right now. It is still uncertain. Will it come to the market? In what form will it come to the market? So this is really just to show you what we're working on, how we're trying to make progress with Project Zero, make it even better. But don't expect like the exact product you see at CES also to come like that on the market. It's more like a proof of concept kind of thing. And then there is also a new version of our magnetic portable SSD. So we also did a dedicated live stream about this. The Data Mag series. We also tested speed, and that was a 20 gigabit per second version. But there will also be a 40 gigabit per second version. So nowadays this becomes more common. More of our motherboards, notebooks are equipped with Thunderbolt 4 or USB 4 40 gig per second. So there will also be a data mag that will be able to also keep up with those kind of USB speeds. So this will be available in up to 4 terabyte capacities. It has a magnetic design. It's compatible with MagSafe, so you can also use it with mobile devices, stick it on the back of a smartphone. But it also comes with MagSafe, like magnetic stickers that use MagSafe. So for example, you can put it on the back of a notebook like you see here, or whatever flat surface you want to stick it on. Comes with 2 of those, black and a white one. But if you want to have more details about these data mag portable drives, check out our live stream. Of course, that will still be the 20 gigabit per second version in terms of benchmarks result. So that will be better, of course, for the 40 gig version. But in terms of functionality, they function in a similar way.
Yeah.
So this was our last product for today. So let's maybe draw our last winner.
Yeah, of course.
Before we're going to close it off for today. Next week, we will talk in detail about some of the products we already teased, but we will have way more B-series motherboards for both Intel and AMD. So Intel LGA 1851 for the new Core Ultra series, as well as AMD AM5. So make sure to check it out. We will go through the full Intel and AMD entry-level and mid-range lineups. So don't miss out and tune in next week. And then we have our last winner for today.
And the last winner of today is Brookie.
Congratulations. You also won a Steam wallet code. So please keep an eye on your mailbox also to the other winners. We'll email the codes to you in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem them. Super Niven is asking, Deb, how do I enter? Too late for this week, but next week we will be back with a new giveaway. So make sure to tune in next week, same place, same time. Thank you for watching today, and see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.